How do force fans? Extra Science coming back at you. As I mentioned in my last video, I would help you understand the guidelines behind choosing what exercises to use in your training programs. Okay, so we talked about setting up the order of your individual sessions in the last video on Tuesday. So we're going to talk about how you pick the exercises that will then give you the order you use. Okay, I'm going to take you through some guidelines and some key considerations. Okay, so there's 3 key considerations in my mind, and they have different elements to them, obviously. But the 3 key considerations for me are the goals that you're trying to achieve, the needs that these goals develop, and then the how the training will look based upon the needs, goals, and you as an individual, you as an athlete, as a trainer. Okay. All right, so let's break these 3 considerations down. Just shift that. So the first one, your aims and goals, big top line. What are you trying to achieve? What are you going to be able to do by the time you finish? What is it you want to be able to do? Okay. From there, then the needs of your training. What are the needs? What do you need to do? What is it going to take? What is it going to take, to achieve those goals? What do you actually have to do? And then your training. How are you going to do that? Okay, so you break the goals down to needs, those needs into training steps that you need to take to achieve your needs and goals. That will help you develop the session focus. So each session then will have a focus towards achieving your needs and goals. And then inside that focus then will give you the idea of picking exercises to meet the session focus, to meet the training needs, to achieve your training goals. Okay, step by step by step. All right, basically you start at the bottom with your exercises. Those exercises build to your session focus. That session focus fits underneath the training type or the overall block focus. That block focus then falls under the overarching training needs, and then those training needs are basically what make up the steps that will achieve your goals. Okay, so you can see that in reverse order to how I mentioned it at the start, but basically you have to break down the aims, the needs, the training type, the session to eventually get the exercises you're going to use. Okay, a little bit fluffy, a little bit confusing. I'll give you some examples in the next clip. Okay. Example 1. What if you want to be a faster sprinter? What if you want to sprint much faster? Okay, the goals for this one are to run faster. The needs are to complete a distance in a quicker time. And to do that, you need to be capable of certain capacities that will allow you to run that distance in a shorter time. All right. Your training then will allow you to be better at certain abilities that will make you run faster and complete that distance in a shorter time. For example, you need to be more powerful and exert more power per stride, allowing you to go either faster per stride or further per stride. Okay, depending on who you are, depending on what your makeup is, depending on what your individual negatives are, your individual weak points are, will depend on how we change your training. But for this example, we're going to keep it broad. Okay, so looking at the sheet, you can see that somebody would start, for instance, with some speed work at the beginning of their session, some power work to get their nervous system firing, to teach them to move some load very quickly. Then we might do some heavy strength work to improve their overall muscular effort output, so they've got more potential for contraction. Then we might move back to some more power work that's more akin to sprinting and gets them to apply force very quickly in the correct directions at the correct intensities. And then we might do some accessory work at the end that further enhances their ability to apply force very quickly through one limb, through hip extension. Okay, so a little bit of a rough idea there, some examples on the screen, just giving you a bit of a working example. Okay, example 2 coming up. All right, example 2, endurance runner. Now, a lot of the time, endurance runners hit a plateau when they cannot go faster or they cannot run further. One of the ways we try and get round this, camera shaking, is to improve their overall strength and improve their capacity for force production. Okay, that then allows them to produce more power, which means they can be more efficient per step because they're either going further, easier, or they're going faster more easily. Okay, so their goal is to run further for longer or do it faster. what we might do is get them to perform some strength exercises to improve their overall force capacity and their ability to produce effort. Then we might get them to do it more powerfully. So we might do some ballistic throwing, some jumping. And then we might go into some muscular endurance work and finish off that training session by allowing them to produce effort repeatedly at a high level and practice that ability to cope with lactic acid, to cope with constantly producing high levels of force. All right. A lot of this might be confusing, but hopefully the examples are giving you an idea. And again, you can always ask. All right. Example 3. Okay. Example 3, increase muscle mass. What is the goal? Grow your muscle mass, have more mass, increase the amount of muscle you carry. What are the needs? Well, you need to increase the volume and increase the stress on the muscle to make it think it needs to be bigger and more capable. All right. How do we do that? Well, loads of ways it's going to cut, but essentially you need to get a lot of muscle activated. So some strength work at the beginning of your session is always a good idea, followed by some mid-range strength work. So a few more reps for a little bit lower weight, really get all the muscle activated, get a lot of neural activation, a lot of neural stimulus going to those muscles. And that can be followed then by what we deem as typical volume work, which is just a lot of reps for some medium or low weight, and just keep looking for that fatigue stimulus. Really rep that out until the muscles feel like they're going to pop. All right. The idea is there, you're working through your exercises that will keep building together to give you the highest stimulus. As we've been doing through all of these examples, you're essentially giving yourself the best chance to get the best stimulus, to get the best output. Now, I've whizzed through that because there's a hell of a lot to it. This is just giving you some examples. If you understood it, crack on, try and design some of your own sessions. Send them over. We'll take a look at them. We'll give you our opinion on them. If you're still a little bit confused by all that, but it's kind of giving you a little bit of a thirst to find out more, drop us a message. Ask us. All right. Other than that, guys, happy lifting, happy training. See you soon.